Hi there, if you've been watching my videos more recently, you know I am extremely busy right now with life. I have a full-time job, I have YouTube, and on top of that, I'm getting married and moving all at the same time. Life is a bit crazy right now, and all of this has really forced me to reevaluate my productivity system. For a good part of this year, I was very overwhelmed and struggling with staying on top of my little to-do list. I would keep randomly missing things I had to do because I didn't write them down, or even worse, I would write things down and still not do them because I never went back to look at my list at the right time. Today I'll be doing a deep dive behind the scenes of my personal productivity system. It took me a very long time to get to this point, and I really hope this is helpful to anyone watching. I personally use the app called Things 3, but the system I'll be showing you could be used with any application. And I want to break this video down into 3 distinct parts. The first thing I'll be doing is showing you my para implementation. I'll describe what that actually means in a few seconds over here. Then after that, I'll be showing you how I capture new tasks into my system. And then lastly, I'll be showing you my nightly/weekly review system. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is Para. Para is a life-changing framework I learned recently by a guy named Tiago Forte. He is like the king of productivity online. Check out his blog. It's very in-depth, but basically in a nutshell, what it is it's a framework for helping you organize your to-do list. So one central thing you'll be seeing me talk about in this video is building a trusted system. And one of the biggest reasons why I struggled with building a system that I can trust is because I had a very bad framework for organizing all my to-dos. I would try different things like making different tags, different categories, different areas. It was just a whole mess, and I kept changing what my categories were every other month. With Para, if you stick with Para across every app you have, not just your to-do list app, but your note-taking app or any other app you use for file storage, it really forces you to stay consistent with how you break down and categorize all your digital stuff. So what Para actually stands for is projects, areas, resources, and archives. When it comes to my to-do list app and things, I only have projects and areas. Let me show you how that looks like in my app. So over here, on the top part on the left side over here, all the little projects here with emojis next to them, these are all projects. Projects are usually things that have more than one step associated with them. So for example, a YouTube video is not just one task. It has several tasks associated with one deliverable. That is a project. A project should also have a defined end date. These are things that actually finish at a certain point. And all my projects over here, with the exception of a couple at the top, which I'll talk about, all have end dates. And that is really important because if your project does not have an end date, it should be defined as an area. Areas are basically like the categories of your life that are ongoing. So if I scroll down over here, I have a few different areas that don't have emojis, and that's very intentional. These are meant to be long-term storage areas for different tasks. So things like friends and family, I have Gulab Jamun, which is my relationship with my fiance, soon-to-be wife, and then also things like personal development, personal finances, personal health, productivity, all my YouTube categories and areas over here, and then my job at the very bottom. These are all very helpful for long-term areas. These are not projects. There is no defined end date for any of these. These are things I'll be working on for the indefinite future, and I want to have a place that's permanent where I can keep putting tasks associated with those areas into. So again, this is very, very important. Projects are not long-term. They're meant to be short-term and defined. They're supposed to have a specific end date and specific steps associated with them. Then next to that, you also have areas, which are more long-term areas of your life. Once you divide up your to-do list between projects and areas, it suddenly becomes so much easier to organize every single task that you put into it. Now this brings me to part 2 of this video, which is how I capture tasks into my system. And this is very important, so important that I already have a full video talking just about the capture habit. Link for that up above and down below. But basically, what it comes down to is our brains are very, very bad at remembering information at a given point in time. What we should be doing is striving to capture every thought and idea that comes to mind into a system. Okay, this brings me to the final part of this video, the most important part that I would say, and that is my nightly review. This is actually something that you could be doing weekly, but because my life is so busy right now, I choose to do this every single night. I try my best to hold myself to that. It really helps with keeping myself organized. What I do every night is go into my task manager and I actually go through my to-dos and organize everything and try my best to plan for the following day. So in things, we have the inbox, and this is where I am right now, the first tab at the top. The inbox is where I am when I input new captured tasks. Anything new ends up in the inbox, and I have to go through here every night or once a week, whatever you decide to do. I go through every night for myself and organize my inbox and dump all the tasks into the right area or project. But I do this in a very specific way that Tiago recommends in his blog post. And the way I do this is I go one by one through each thing. I try my best not to skip around. It's important that you do everything one by one. It's also important that you don't actually go through and start executing on all of the tasks. What you're doing right now is clarifying and organizing. You're not doing. And the idea is you sometimes get stuck in the whole rabbit hole of doing the tasks as you're organizing them. Try to resist that. If there's only a thing that takes a minute or something, yeah, go ahead and do that. But if there are things in here that could take a few minutes, try your best to resist, put it into the right place, and do it later. So let's actually walk through this. My first thing here is moving the airport extreme to the moving out pile. I am moving soon. I have to move a router to the moving out pile I've been building. What I'm going to do first is actually tag this. Every single item on this list will get a tag. I only have 2 tags: important and urgent. I've tried my best in the past to build a whole tagging system, but I've never followed through with it. So what I find is 2 tags is the most I can actually follow through with. And everything in my system is important. There's not a task that I have that's not important, but there are some certain things that are urgent. And I chose that word specifically because urgent is not a priority. It just means it has to get done urgently. Everything in life is high priority, but some things are urgently a priority as well. So this particular item is not urgent, but it is important. So I'm going to tag this with command, or rather Control-2 for the keyboard shortcut, which I set up. And this is important. And now I'm going to drag this into the apartment project. This is now in the right bucket. I can look at it later, which I'll show you in a little bit. This next item over here is print the latest no response list. This is for the RSVP list that we have for our wedding. This is actually an urgent task. I'm gonna mark this as urgent, and I'm gonna move this to the Anand Cottage project, which is the wedding. And I'm gonna keep going down the list over here and finish tagging and assigning all these items. Okay, so I just finished tagging and assigning everything in my inbox. Now what I would be doing is actually assigning some tasks for the following day. And the way I do that, I go to the anytime section because all my tasks that don't already have a date are already in this anytime list. This is a master list of everything that isn't assigned a date yet. And what I'll do first is go to the urgent section. This will show me all my urgent tasks. It will not show me anything that's important, only urgent. And urgent things are the things I have to get done first before I can work on anything else. What I try doing every day is picking out all the urgent things I can get done, and I also try staying ahead of the game and picking out a few important things as well. If you only do urgent things, that's not a good thing either. You want to have a good balance of urgent and important things in your to-do list for the day. So what I would do now is go through here. There's a few things here I can do right away today that are pretty urgent. I can buy a box cutter today. I'm going to hit Command-T to make it assigned for today. I'm also going to buy some vitamin D, and I'm going to go through and add a few more things to my to-do list for today. Now that I have those things assigned for today, what I'll do now is go to the important section and do the same thing. I'm going to go through here and just pick out some important things that I can do tomorrow. These are not urgent things, but they are important things that I don't want to fall behind on. I'm just going to quickly scan through and go through that now. All right, cool. Now that I've done that, what I'll actually do now is go to my today section, and this will show me all the tasks that I have assigned for today. And what I actually just started doing recently is I built these little dividers into the app. It's kind of like a hack. It's not really a built-in feature. I wish it was, but this works really well for me. I actually divide my day into 3 different parts. I have a morning, an afternoon, and a night. And I divide this up in 3 different ways. Satchbot and lunch is kind of my afternoon lunch break. I do Satchbot and take a lunch break. So everything before that is the morning. Everything between that and the Gulab Jamun call is the afternoon. Every night around 5 o'clock, me and my fiance have our nightly call. And then at the evening and night section, that is what I assign everything that's later at night that I can do after dinner and things like that. It's a great way to structure my day and assign different tasks to different parts of my day. So what I'll do now is quickly drag and drop different tasks I have for today into different parts of my day so I know when I have to get those things done. Let me do that right now. All right, now my day is fully scheduled for today. Again, normally I would do this the night before, so I wake up in the morning with a clear plan for the day. Now there's a lot more that goes into this productivity system. I use other apps for note-taking and other things as well, but in terms of task managing, this is how I organize it. I use Para, I capture everything, I do a nightly review. Those are the 3 pillars of my productivity system right now. I'm sure things will get more simple in a few weeks' time after the wedding, but for right now, things are a bit hectic, so I have to go through this every single day. If you enjoyed this video, check out my video from exactly 1 year ago where I posted my review of the Things app. I was using the app in a very different way at that time. If this is not working for you, check out that video. That might actually be simpler for you to use. Link for that on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.